Today I'm going to show you a little bit about stamping and how colors can give you a different look with the same stamps. So here's a stamp set called Seasons Like Christmas, and that's when I'm kind of in the mode of Christmas, thinking of Christmas and Christmas cards, and I got other projects going on. But I got this little set because I love the little tree. I'm going to show you different ways that you can get different looks and different seasons you can get out of using this stamp set. So I have my stamps mounted, the ones that I'm going to use, which is pretty much the whole set except for the words. They're mounted on my glass and my clear blocks. And we're going to start with the tree trunk. And I'm going to be using soft suede. I'm going to show you the basic way to do it first, and then I'm going to show you some changes. I like to use this pad. It gives me a good stamping surface. Sometimes you have stamps, or if your table is a little bit bowed, and you go to print, especially if it's a big stamp, sometimes parts of it won't be as dark as the rest of it, so this pad really helps a lot. So I recommend getting this pad. Okay, we have our warm brown. I call it warm brown. All right, and when we are done with our stamp, we need to clean it. This is the wet side, and this is the dry side, so we always clean our stamp. And I want to close this up. I don't like to leave things open. All right, now my choices of greens. I have Pear, Pizzazz, Old Olive, and Wild Wasabi. Now this is a much warmer color. It's a warmer green. So I would consider this to be the color that's closest to you. This is Olive. Olive is a little bit duller color, and so that would be a good middle color. And Pear, Pizzazz, that's a lighter green. That would be sort of further away. I like to think in values. So this would, you could choose either of these two to be the back side of the tree, and the front side of the tree you want to have your warmest color. That's just the way colors are. To create distance and illusion, and I'll get into that a little bit more later, you want cooler colors. You want your warmest colors up front, because warm colors tend to advance, cool colors tend to recede into the background. So you have to learn to work with colors that way. So I am going to choose this light color and the warm color for my tree. Okay, now to choose which one to use, this one or that one, I'm going to choose the one that has the most color on it from my lightest green, because you can always put darker colors on top of the lighter colors. So start with your light colors and stamp from your lightest to your darkest. So we will choose this block, that one, and we're going to use our lightest green. Let's open it up. We'll load our block. And you'll see where this branch is right there in the middle. Let me zoom in just a little closer so you can kind of see. See that branch? There is also an opening right in the middle of that tree. You want to place that right around there and make sure that it touches. You want the branch to kind of peekaboo through here in the different places. Okay. And so there's the first color, and it's a lighter color. I always like to close my blocks. That's Pear, Pizzazz. Now I'm going to use Wild Wasabi. And if you want to use a darker green, you could. Okay, so my next color, I'm going to use this other block right here that has a little, let me back out, sorry. That has a little less color, because I don't want the whole thing to be, you know, the same color. It's good to have two different prints. That's what I love. I love these two prints. Okay, so this one had a little less, and I'm going to load my stamp. Then again, we line it up with our holes, and some of this is going to cover up parts of the color we put on first. Okay, so now we have two tones on our tree, which gives it a nice look because you have your light colors and your darker colors. And then there's this little piece, which is the grass. And since it's a shadow under the tree, I think I'll use my darker green. And we put this right under so it looks like the tree trunk is coming right up out of the grass. Okay. And I'm going to close up my ink. And I want to go back to my lighter ink. Anytime you change colors, always wash your stamp. So I go to my lighter stamp, and this is lighter, so it doesn't matter. I'm going to just add a little extra grass around it. You can stamp it several times. So there we have a tree, and it's sitting on the ground. All right, there's a couple more stamps that goes with this set. There is this one that has like Christmas decorations, because this is a Christmas stamp. So I'm going to use Riga Red and load it. And then we can decorate the tree. You could leave it just like that if you wanted to. I'm going to show you what this looks like. Now, I'm not totally happy with that. I guess it'd be okay for a Christmas card. To me, that's too much red. Okay, and then there's one more thing that comes with the set, and it's a star. So I'm going to use Daffodil Delight, and we put a star on the top of the tree. And so that could be used in a Christmas card. All right, whenever you get a new stamp, it's always a good idea to play with your stamp. And so I have some pieces of paper, or I have played with it. Okay, here you see kind of two different designs. And I'll explain how I got them. For this one, I used my lightest color, Pear Pizzazz for the lighter color, and then I used my warm color, Wild Wasabi, which is a darker, warmer color. It's warmer because it has a little bit of green, a little bit of yellow in it, and this is cooler because, believe it or not, there's a touch of blue in that color to make it cooler. Now, that would be great for like a springtime tree, or it would be good for like the morning tree, depending on what scene you want to create. This one, I added one additional color. I used the old olive, and then for the second stamp, which is this stamp, I used Marina Mist for a blue tint, and then I used the same stamp with the Wild Wasabi, the warm color. So what it did was it gave me a much darker green because the blue and the green mixed. And so that tree looks more like maybe afternoon tree, or could be a fall tree. I mean, it is a pine tree. Pine trees stay green year round. So you got two different looks just by changing the color. Now let me show you what else you can do. Okay, here I was trying to create like a forest scene, and I wanted to go with the tree because I really love the tree. Back here, very lightly, I wanted a pale color, so I used Soft Sky. And then for the middle trees, working our way forward, I used Marina Mist. And then for the green way forward, I used the old olive. And so having that change of colors, that those faded ones in the background. Of course, to help with the perspective, you need these treetops to be a little taller, and then you come, each time you add a color, you come down a little bit lower, because you want the base of the tree to be lower. I haven't put any grass underneath. I should do that to complete that scene, because it's not complete. I think I'll go ahead and do that now. Grass. And you can just use it again. It kind of fades away, so let's see what color this is. It's a little darker. Yeah, you can just sort of fill it in. You can have lighter greens, darker underneath the tree. Okay. When I started thinking about my trees, I was wanting to do a card with a pretty winter scene in here. And so I was playing with the colors to see if I couldn't create like a snow scene that I could put, but my oval is too small for this particular stamp. I mean, you could. I might just cut this out and use this as a base for something else in a card. But that's kind of what started me thinking about this. What I really want is a snowy scene. So you can see how I've used blues, cool colors in the background, greens, warm colors. Any color that has a yellow in it is a warm color. Cool colors have a blue undertone. So these are blues and this is green. Okay, I wanted to actually go for snow scene. So I played, this is just a typing paper, which is cheap, and you can experiment with it. So I made some snow groupings. To do this, I only used this stamp only because it has a lot of white spaces in it, so it can give the illusion of snow. I used Soft Sky for the very pale ones, and then I used Marina Mist for the darker colors, and I don't want them to be too dark because I want it to feel like a snowy day. Now you can see that I added some shadows underneath, and the first time that you stamp, your color is going to be darker. If you just keep stamping, the color will get lighter and you can get a lighter print. Now there's this, which could be a shadow, but I'll probably cut this off and I'll just use that scene. For the tree trunks, I didn't want them to be brown, so I chose basic gray for the tree trunks. That also keeps it on the cool side. So you can have trees from the same stamp. You can have spring, summer, fall, or winter, depending on the colors of the stamps that you use. I suggest every time you get a new stamp, just play with it. Experiment and see what you can come up with. See what different possibilities. Just one more tip. This is a little spray mist for cleaning your blocks. This side is the wet side, and there's little droplets there, so you know that's the wet side. This is the dry side. What I've learned is that you can actually clean this. This gets dirty. You can take it out and wash it. Whenever I use Regal Red, that's a very strong color, it kind of stains it. If you get a lot of colors in here, you're going to find your colors are going to come out a little bit dull because they'll be mixing. So take this out and wash it. When you wash off your block, see how this is pink stained? I don't like that. I want my things to be clear. So I'm going to take this to the sink and I'm going to wash this out, and at the same time I'm going to wash that. That way I can have my colors looking pure and clean. I hope you found this helpful. Please subscribe to get more stamping and card making tips.